two, one. Looks like we're live. Yes, we are live.
We are live.
So, thank you, beloved. It is an honor to be here with you, to be one with you as you in New York. So everyone, welcome to Vibrillioniare Convo-Sessions, Gate, Signal 2, Gate Yes, we are 4, live. Gate 4 for, no, Gate 5 for Vibrillioniare Convo-Sessions, which is the mirror beyond noise, the awakening of the I am presence. So let's just share this with the field. So there are beautiful mirrors actually messaging us right now saying, where are you guys? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? So we're grateful to hear the field reflect this appreciation for I am, for itself, because that is why we're here. We're not here to share more noise. We're here to solve so much to share. Just want to say, if you're tuning in, we invite you to drop into that beautiful breath, drop into that beautiful resourcefulness of the richness, of the resonance, of remembrance. I am. As one field, speaking, mirroring, remembering itself. Hmm. Take in that breath, that beautiful, delicious fragrance of the divine. What a beautiful richness it is to be here, to be even sharing this, let alone to be experiencing this. And we have our beautiful mirror. There I am, Shakti. And where are you, Shakti? It's like I think we should come up with an episode like Where's Waldo? But where's Shakti? Like where's Shakti? So
I
let's
so what's really exciting
without
is
further
I'm on
ado.
Eastern time. So every episode I end by saying see you at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and noon Eastern. So I am at in noon Eastern. I'm in New York City, in Brooklyn, exactly in Brooklyn. And
Yes.
really witnessing the unfolding of abundance and abundant living, which happens when we live in alignment. When it's just so exciting and just so full of gratitude. It's like when you reach the stage that I've reached, it's like it's like the universe is playing with you. It's rewarding you for everything that you've done. So
Yes.
it's like you've done all the hard work, you've done all the shadow work, you've resolved all your stories. Now you're
Hmm.
dissolving into into the reality, which is outside the matrix. So the
Yes.
reality, and here it is joyful, it is easy, it is just non-stop celebration and miracles. Um, the amount of people that have been reaching out to me wanting to meet me are people who I wouldn't even like think would be aligned with where I am right now or be called
Hmm.
into my energy. But because I'm just going with the flow, it's just like it's like a child who keeps on getting gifts every single moment. It's like it's Christmas all the
I
time.
feel
It's
that.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and in a couple of weeks, you're gonna be here in Yuma. And
Can
there's
you
so many
believe
people
it?
that are excited. And your book. Let us know a little bit about your book because that 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 is surrendering to the field and letting
Yeah,
that mirror through you.
you're absolutely right. Okay, so this is the book. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn off the my background. Okay, so this is the book. Magical, beautiful.
Mhm.
It's like alive. Look, it's gold, but it's like
There it
uh
is.
there it is.
A little bit. When you put it to the center, it corrected. Let's see. Well, yeah, we can see it a little bit. There I am. No. There, no. It like it wants to see it. There it
Here,
is.
here.
There it is. We got a glimpse into it. But yeah, we can include the link in the YouTube comments.
In the
And
YouTube comments, and then it's going to be posted on vibrillioniare.com.
okay.
Soon it's gonna be so all the buying links. So anyone who's in Canada can buy it on Amazon Canada, Amazon UK, France, etc., etc. It's available worldwide, but of course, each Amazon has a separate link. People can go to Amazon.com and find their country links, but to make it easier, we'll post a bunch of different countries and of course the Amazon.com link, and people can get either the Kindle version or the paperback. We're not on Audible yet, and we'll see. So this is book one of a trilogy. This I've written it non-linear, so it starts with the end. So this one is called, the first one is called Divine Mother's Final Chapter, Abracadabra,
Hmm.
and it's book one of the Eternal Spiral trilogy. And then next summer, I'm hoping to release the second book, which will be the beginning. And then we'll have, in 2027, we'll have the middle, which is book three. So that's the whole journey, and we invite you to walk with us. If you want to meet me in person, come to Yuma. If you want to align with the energies of Shiv Shakti, Michael and Natasha, come to Yuma. If you want to get your copy of the book signed, come to Yuma. So I want to say that there's this friend of mine, a beautiful goddess. She was part of our first wave of our goddess revolution, and she lives in Montana. And so she bought her copy of the book, and she's like, I want you to sign it. And I'm like, hey, why don't you come to Yuma? And she's like, oh, I have things happening that weekend. She's singing at some festival. But she said, I would love to, but I have to come right back. So she's actually coming. She's coming to Yuma all the
Wow.
way from Montana, getting her book signed, meeting us, aligning with the energy, and then driving right back again.
Okay. So let me just say something really quickly because I speak from personal experience, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
we want to say that, is that you're not going to meet Shakti, you're going to meet yourself because Shakti is so clear and so pure that when Michael speaks to her, it's like you're speaking to yourself. The language, you know how when somebody has like a different slang or a different like somebody from Texas to California, that's kind of like the personas are a little bit slang from their own side, but they communicate so deeply, so purely. But it's interesting the different what do you call it? What's that word? That when you have that little lisp or that little different way of speaking, but it's
Mm-hmm.
the same message. So for example, um, the way that you're vibrating and the way that Michael's vibrating are different spectrums coming together with the same language. This is why we say there's less slang there. So it's not
Mm.
like we're speaking the same physical language, but we're speaking the same experiential language of presence.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when I mean that if you want to get more acquainted with more of your true self in a physical mirror, like Shakti, if you want to, I don't know if you can do this, but if we can do this, but if we can create like where you are on the map, so if somebody is in your vicinity, they can go meet you. They can go, maybe order a book. If you're going to
Uh-huh.
be in the area ahead of time, order a book. And then when they order a book, have you sign it, right? And not just
Mm-hmm.
order a book, but read it because I know we're going to be reading it. We're waiting for the book as we speak. So Cora, let's put that little order in and let's get that book. And I know there's a couple people that want to get that book. So if you're watching this, you can get it on Kindle. You won't be able to get it signed. And if you want to get it signed after the convergence, you have to go to India to get it signed. So we
True.
are manifesting. We are manifesting both of us to go to each other because when you mentioned about the mirror of Montana,
Mm-hmm.
look at the beauty of what's happening because we have people coming from LA. We have people coming from, actually, they're moving down here because uh, there was a lot of inspiration for them to move down to Yuma. So there's people actually being drawn to Yuma. And imagine when they go back to their homes, they're going to vibrate more of that I am presence, because it's like when you meet more of a dissolved mirror of presence, like they're going to impact us just like we're going to impact them. That's the part of the body of I am coming back to itself. And when it comes back to itself, it can no longer go back the same. It
Mm-hmm.
will continue in that dissolving. So, oh, we're excited. We are so excited that we're already feeling it right now because you already know it's already here. It's already now. We're simply inviting other mirrors to dissolve, to shatter and disappear so that God source universe can replace the ego identity, the little me into, you know, whatever I do affects you, affects
Mm-hmm.
the whole field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this has just unfolded immensely, so powerfully, so quickly. What would you say to, because we just had that conversation in all honesty, Michael had all these ideas about how to put more of Vibrillioniare on the map. But Shakti, thank you for the beautiful mirror that you are, because I want to speak to the performer of Michael that kind of got a little bit encapsulated with needing to do more, that it's more surrendering to the field. So we were talking about all these different ideas, and how how can you say to someone that is thinking they need to do more? Because do more is the old language, right? We
Yes.
needed to use it to get here because we signed up for it. But now we're involving, we're returning, we're remembering the beingness, right? Because
Okay.
we've been so good at doing that we've been very poor at being.
I
That's the
get
true
what you're
scarcity,
saying,
right?
and I'm going to interrupt you here to basically take a step back for you, me, and the viewers to just witness where we are at the moment. Okay.
Mhm.
This is a perfect example of the question you're asking me. So, in the normal world of the doing and the planning and the marketing of oneself and of something, there are all these things that people say, right? Now, technically speaking, somebody would think it's a great idea that you're about to write a book. Why don't you start a podcast and become visible in the world and then do an event and people will come? Okay. Now, those are all normal things people say that people do. And here we are, Michael. Just feel this energy. Like I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying it. All of these things exist for me at the moment without me having to do anything.
Mm.
I didn't plan. I must have a podcast. I
Yeah.
met you, and here we are. Signal to gate 5. How did we reach here? When did I start writing? How is the book already in my hands? It happened together. Now we're talking about this convergence in Yuma, and the book's going to be there for people to pick up and sign. This is not marketing, but it ticks all the boxes of any mastermind marketing course. So, I mean, so
Yeah.
who can say that Shakti isn't doing?
Yeah.
But you are witness to Shakti sitting in her room doing nothing
Yeah.
for 24 hours a day since you met me,
Yeah.
which is why I say I'm the busiest person who doesn't work. I'm the busiest person who doesn't do anything. And I understand for people who are still in the left brain, what I'm saying sounds very woo woo. Like, how is it possible to do things without doing? It's a very So this is where the English language becomes restrictive, which is why I've created a new language in my book. In the trilogy, there'll be a new language coming to you soon. Um, but the restriction is between, like, I guess, let's go back to Shakespeare because we know that he saw behind the veil, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about to be and not to be. That is the question.
That is the question.
So we go back to that energy and realize instead of to be or not to be, it's to be or to do.
Mm.
And you've heard people play around with the words. People have said it. A lot of people have said, we're human beings, not human doings. But aside from an anecdote, what does that actually mean?
Yes.
It means basically all it actually means. If we put away all the woo and all the fufa, and oh, it's okay for her, she can do it. Her life must be different. My life is different. And that's how
Yeah.
we continue the illusion of separation, right?
Yep. Yep.
People who know me know how far I have come. there's nothing else I can say to people who don't know me and think, okay, it's okay for her and not for me, right? But when you become all it actually takes is being authentic and being vulnerable. As you work on yourself using any modality that calls to each person, whether it's breath work, yoga, meditation, therapy, whatever it is to dig deep, do your shadow work, face your demons, understand your story that made you who you are today,
Mm.
and then disconnect from it.
Yeah.
Because we, yes, the fact that we're here today is because of our life and our life story and our challenges and traumas. But to realize that in the present moment, we don't need to carry it anymore. And that does not define us now. Then we are in the present moment. When we are in the present moment, in that energy, we get to find out who we authentically are. For all of our lives, none of us know who we really are. We only knew that when we were a child. Then the world taught us otherwise, experience made us feel otherwise. It's about tapping back into that child that believed it could do anything, be anyone it wanted to be, go to the moon, be a fireman, and also do this, and also do this, and also do this, because you sit in the moment and you just create worlds, create realities, and inhabit those realities with joy and freedom and abundance. And that's what Vibrillioniare is then ultimately all about. Come home to yourself, come home to your
Mm.
authenticity, put away the performer, as Michael says, because there's no show. The show's inside. When I'm feeling like so loved by my friends and family that are meeting me every step of this journey with high vibration and unconditional love, I tap into that energy. And then I decide to not get distracted by the other stresses of, oh my God, I'm leaving tomorrow already for New York. How do I do this? It's just too much. No, come back to the present moment, come into the breath, and there's so much space there.
Yes.
And that's it.
May I share to that? Because you just said something that I'm actually inviting people, mirrors, to the after party. So um dancing in this world, but yet not of it,
Awesome.
right?
To which I
We,
shall be a guest appearance because, of course, I'm in New
yes,
York and
and
I have things to do, but I will
especially
say
what you
hi.
shared. No, but especially what you shared. For those of you that are watching this and you, because there is no replay, what you get, what you see is what you get. So join us. There might be replays in the future, but right now there's no replays. So join us because if you just love what Shakti just mirrored, it is your own being calling you to soften, to let go of all the pressure. I remember, we remember working with, I remember working with people dissolving with other mirrors is they would have a hard time resting for 5 or 10 minutes because they felt guilty. They shouldn't go to sleep. They should be, and it's like, how do you expect to run your car? You don't run your car without giving it a rest, right? You don't run your phone without giving it a rest. You update it every night so it'll perform the best of its ability. So what you're saying is so beautiful. And I love that you touched on the beautiful reflection that yes, you could focus on your goals, on your dreams, on all of this stuff. But what about instead of chasing the why, what about if the why serves the who? Because the why usually appears to be the master. It runs our show, it runs our lives, and we get so inundated, which this is why we're sharing vulnerability, because it's all about vulnerability. Because we're not going to share anything if it's not vulnerability or authenticity. Because authenticity, there's a much deeper description. Authenticity, it's when the mind is less in the way and the heart is more purified, so the soul can speak through the channel. That is authenticity. It's not all this other beautiful fill in the boxes, right? So that's all we'll say there. Um, However, we talk about how important it is how we speak, what words we use, right? But what about how important it is to identify the identity that is speaking with the words that it thinks it's speaking? So, for example, we work with people that do detoxes, cleanses, all of this different stuff, and they eat so pure and so clean, but they wonder why they deal with all these identities. And that is the greatest detox. It's detoxing of the mind of who you think you are. If we don't start there, nothing will work. And we're saying this because we had to go all through all these different layers of programming and all that stuff to ultimately feel like we were the worst person in the world, that we've invested 20 years for nothing, to realize it was the greatest investment ever. So what Shakti just mirrored, and I love that you said that. I love you. Truly, truly. I mean, going back to what you said, I know we're all over the place here, but it's okay. Going back to what you said, we're on signal 2, gate 5, and this was roughly 3 months ago, and this has just exploded. I mean, I'm going to say it, even though we don't have a lot of followers, we're not looking for followers, by the way. We're looking for frequency holders so that we can join and mirror together. We're not looking for anyone to follow us. We don't even, anyways, we're not looking for likes, comments, because guess what? What reveals to us the likes, the comments, the shares, and the loves is the field shifting. And we don't need evidence. We already see it. We already, like, this is what we wake up to every single day. So that being said, beloved, is when you mentioned that the being of Shakespeare, which most people don't even know who Shakespeare is. Shakespeare was a pen name. It wasn't his real identity. It was his alter ego identity, because in those times you couldn't really show up and really live or survive. This is why people went into caves and jungles and things like that. So the point is this: Shakespeare was a very illumined vessel, meaning dissolved. He uses identity to just like you are through your book. You're using that identity, right, to inject the field of remembrance. This is what Shakespeare did. But most people don't know that Shakespeare was a very dissolved soul that had these different incarnations that never died. A lot of people don't know that. So if you think this is woo-woo, study the ancestors. The ancestors, we are meant to live longer than these 100 years, to be honest. This is a delusion of mind. So, and we even kid with our beloved Michael's wife. We kid and we say we're gonna be here for another 300 years. So you better get ready because you haven't seen nothing yet, right? And look at how technology is going. It's like we're speaking, we're manifesting, right? So in order to experience the greatest life, we need to realize where life is truly being projected from. So if we don't clear the fog of the mind, no matter what we do, no matter what we manifest, no matter where we go, because people travel all over the world, right? But Shakti, wherever you go, there you are. But for most people, wherever they go, all the problems come, all the identities, all the multiple personalities, sicknesses, and dis-ease or disharmony with the mind follows them. And even though they're on vacation, but they're inundated with stress, they're inundated with this reactiveness, right? And wherever Shakti goes, it's like, I feel at home. This is what we experienced when we went on tour, and this is what we experience here in the home. So for those that are watching this, they might not be able to hear that the more you slow down, the more you manifest. But this is what Vibrillioniare.com represents. This is what we are here. And to go back to the vulnerability, because we're not escaping it, is when we got on the call, we had so many ideas. Now, in all honesty, this is how, when we let the mind take control, we dishonor the field. Because the mind does not know how to do what presence does flawlessly throughout the entire universe. But we think we're going to do a better job than it. We think we're more smarter than it. We think we're more advanced than it. Just because you have excuse me, and we don't mean it to be disrespectful, but just because you have a certification or a PhD or a doctorate or whatever, or even we're going to speak this because this is where we come from, or Michael comes from. Even if you have a inmate number or a federal number or a state number, does not make you any better or less than anyone else, because we're all one consciousness. We're all one source of awareness, one source of presence, experiencing itself through these vessels. So the more we can get acquainted to that source of what that truly is, the why will align with the who. And the whole universe wants to serve the why. But if you have resistance, and we're speaking to Michael, If you have resistance, it's because you're feeling like you need to do something. You don't need to do anything. When you surrender to the beingness, the doing follows because it's the relationship with the mind and the heart. So if your life is chasing the doing, that's because you're in mind. You're being hypnotized. You're being anesthetized or whatever that word is. Like, when they give you that shot so you don't feel the pain. Pain is not bad. It means you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
So don't run from the pain, right? You're being what did you call it? Like in the Men in Black, and they do the little thing, and they zap this
Oh,
thing,
where they erase the, yeah,
and you
yeah.
forget
But
everything that you just experienced disappears.
when you say pain means you're alive, so in hypnotherapy, we use pain as an acronym, and it basically stands, P is pay, A, attention, I, in the now. So
Mm,
whenever you do get pain in your body or in your mind, in the emotional field, then your consciousness is drawing your attention there. And wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So your subconscious mind has no other way of communicating to you except through your body and through your dreams. So when we do get, though, that's actually a calling. But as human beings, we turn around as humans, I'll say, because of the doings and the beings difference. But as humans, we tend to get lost in the pain. Our mind attaches to it, and then it's like, oh, I got to go to the doctor, and I'm suffering, and and the story comes forward again, and the patterns repeat themselves, right? So that's how we keep ourselves distracted. When you get the pain, and if you could return to your breath and you can come between that gap between things, where there's infinity, and really then sit with what is the pain, what am I really feeling, what is my subconscious mind trying to tell me, which part of my story have I not yet dissolved. And then when you are able, because you get awareness, so when your body and your mind answers you, then you get an awareness. With awareness comes choice. You can
yes.
either keep it or drop it. And then when you drop it, that disease disappears. It's as miraculous as that. But of course, in today's day and age of the medical industry and all the pharmaceuticals, that I want to go to the doctor and he'll give me a magic pill and everything will be fine. But it's only just managing the symptoms. It's not reaching the root. But that's
And
what
it's a
we have, the
mirror.
modern world. And
Yeah.
it's a mirror, because the
It's a
more you
mirror of the
suffer, the
mind.
more
This is
you
the
need to go
doctor.
deeper. Exactly. Absolutely. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So we are still being guided to dig deep and work on ourselves, but most of us just don't see it. I do want to, before we wrap up, I would like to, because it ties in everything we spoke about, and also a proof, again, for people who need that proof away from the woo, if
Yes.
they're watching the episode and they're hearing about the book and they're not really aware of how our podcast and the book and our convergence, all the universe consciousness made it happen. It wasn't Michael, it wasn't Natasha, it wasn't Shiv, it wasn't Shakti. It is just us showing up and rejoicing in the authenticity of our connection.
Mm.
And I just want to say that the first person outside of my team who has read the whole book, like bought the book, read the whole book, is one of my goddesses from the Goddess Revolution. She's been part of two of our waves, is Laura Ann, and she read the whole book and she wrote a review, and that's my first review. And she posted it on Amazon, but it'll take some time to get uploaded. So she wrote to me personally saying, I want you to know what I said, and please feel free to share this everywhere. So I would like to read it out
Please do.
for purely for the energy that it holds.
Yes.
Okay, so she says, the collective emergence of the feminine spirit. NS Shakti's words do more than tell a story. They awaken both our wandering curiosity and our deep soul resonance of connection. Each page invites us to feel the moments that unite us all, weaving experience into a tapestry of remembrance.
Mm.
The writing carries a nuance and a Renaissance spaciousness, an opening women everywhere to step forward into a time of our true becoming. This is a story we can all see ourselves in, no matter the traumas or trials we have endured. It is not just one woman's journey, it is a mirror of humanity's collective unveiling, a call to the divine feminine emergence rising within us all. A
Mm,
beautiful, soul touching read that lingers long after the final page.
mm. Wow. And you know, I think this is a beautiful reflection because when we were talking about pain, that is the feminine. This is why a woman goes through labor pains, because that is the pain that in order for the feminine to birth through this field, it is the labor pains of the ego, because the ego doesn't want to give in, right? And it's just like the baby doesn't want to come out because it's big. So it's like, how am I going to fit through that little hole, right? Without giving too much detail. But it's like for example, when we were saying pain, it doesn't necessarily mean physical pain. It could be mental pain. It could be, because trying to fit in, coming from Michael's prior experience, is very painful because no matter what you do, people pleasing, validation seeking, let me tell you, it's very addicting. And we've been addicted to drugs, but let me tell you, it's no different. The sensation, the disappointment, and the high that when you get it, and then one person, just one person doesn't align, it's like it doesn't matter how many 99 people like you, but this one person, and then you live because you're afraid of that one person being disappointing, right? So what we wanted to speak into is what you said, and in honoring your book, the book that came through you, is going back to the who and the why. If Shakti did not prepare the vessel, not that she did by doing, by performance, it was by surrendering to the magic, to the mystery, to the medicine, of vibration of life. And when you were mentioning about, we're just going to say it, about the prescription of identity of the doctor of the mind, this is where people will be continuously attracted to do more, do more, do more, do more, do more. And like we said, vulnerability wise, is thank you for checking that, doctor. Thank you for checking that, doctor, when we started, because we had a party before. And we would love to invite people. Imagine if we invited people to the party before, during, and after. I mean, we'll never get done. We'll be here forever. And maybe we'll do that in the future, right? And then we'll have these events where we come together physically. Because let me just tell you, you said something earlier. Let us experience the message, because we're not telling anyone. Let us experience the reflection of the message. That what a beautiful gift it is. And this is why we're coming together, Shakti, is so that more people can experience what we get to experience on a weekly basis, and in the middle of the week when we come together. Um, when you experience such love, just being not your natural self. It's like you bring, because we're human, right? I mean, we are infinite, multidimensional, beyond magical consciousness in these bodies, experiencing this human experience, right? So when we come together, we experience the little, a hint of humanity, but the abundance of vibrational beingness. And let me just say what a joy it is. And for those that, feel this attraction speaking to them, then we are here. We're here. The website is here. The different offering and containers are here. The WhatsApp portal is here. Because let me just reflect to the field, because like we were sharing before this call, we say that, it's 10 years in the making, but really it's lifetimes that is prepared for this. So we are getting to experience a dissolving of lifetimes of mind, of noise in this life. And for those that are tired of performing, of pretending, of personifying some external existence that is not you, You know, at the end of the day, the costume comes off, the disguise comes off, the mask and the makeup, starts to smear and affect your reality because there's something much deeper calling you, reminding you, mirroring you home. And we're here
That
to,
is the perfect. I'm gonna speak in here because we are at the end of time.
yeah,
Um, End of time for this episode. Uh, but what you just said, all of these resources are available, thevibrillioniare.com for you to meet us, the WhatsApp portal, the podcast, the after party, all these different spaces invite those aspects of ourselves, the mirrors of I am, to come and reflect and expand, dissolve and then expand together. And of course, I think we should take the last couple of minutes to actually explain and describe what is happening in Yuma. I know we mentioned it a couple of times on this episode, but I think so. Michael and I are meeting in person. So on this adventure, I'm right now in New York and I'm going forward into America. And on the 17th of September, I'm going to be arriving in Yuma. And on the 18th, Michael and I are going to be going live with a special podcast episode where we're going to be on the same camera and not on two different screens. And
yeah,
we're going to just basically be plugged in on all levels in terms of being in the same physical space and let the I am express itself through our meeting. We don't know the why, the how, the purpose. We just know that we have to be. So that again is a perfect example of us walking the talk. And so please join us. It's not a this year, it's not an event. There are no tickets, there's no agenda. We're all just gonna come together and celebrate in this convergence. Everyone will bring their gifts, people will come and sing and dance and um just celebrate. We because it's not an event, it's not like a retreat, so we don't have like I said, tickets to sell or even accommodation to sell. But Yuma is a small town and there's everything available from campsites to five-star hotels. So come, bring your joy, check in wherever you want, where your abundance affords you to, and just show up. And all I really do believe that the mirrors, that the energetic frequencies that the universe wants will collect in Yuma. So that's on the 18th, which is 999. Again, very powerful in all
yes.
directions. Um, so yeah, see you guys all there. Yuma, 18th. And before that, see you next Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific
Yes.
Standard Time or noon Eastern. Although I'm going to be on, oh no, I'll still be on Eastern Time. I'm going to be in Kentucky next Saturday.
Nice, nice. And I would like to add something that you said to the September convergence because
Mhm.
when you see us show up and we see that when we say there I am, it's not just a fancy little quote or to attract. It's really how we perceive, not we, the self recognizes beyond perception. Because perception makes us think that we're talking to someone. But when you feel, this is not a thought, this is not even a feeling. I don't even know what to explain it. It's an awareness that we translate and we confuse as feeling because awareness is beyond feeling. It's not that you feel cold or hot, you feel good or bad. Awareness just is. So, that being said, come to the September convergence because this is why we created this, so you can meet a more present aspect of yourself. So you can see you in us. You're not gonna come to an event where you're gonna feel like you're out of, and maybe you might feel like you're out of, like, maybe like, do I belong here? You're gonna be invited. You're gonna be like, of course you belong, because we're all one. And we're excited to celebrate the one. Like that's the greatest gala. We should call it a gala. We're having a gala of celebrities because the truest celebrities don't act. They celebrate life. They authentically show up. And let me tell you, we are here to illuminate the greatest celebrities on earth, which is I am, through form. And those that are consciously on the path, oh my gosh, this is what we shared, and we would love to share it again before we go. Is when one is conscious, aware, present with the I am, the remembrance of I am, remembering of who one truly is, they are more powerful, effective in their work, in let's just say whatever practice they're doing, whatever family, relationships. They are more powerful than millions who are distracted, who are feeling like they are separate. Because when you unite all parts of yourself, you have the whole universe conspiring within you. Because the whole universe is conspiring, bringing us all together. The question is, are you aligning to the party? Are you saying yes, being present in the classroom of life? We are. So thank you, Shakti. So close us out because I just want to add a little bit to that. Close us out, and we'll see you in Kentucky next
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 Saturday.
next Saturday,
And
which is just
yep,
now, right?
that's on our podcast live. And then we shall meet in person on the 18th of September in Yuma. You,
Yes.
me, and all the mirrors.
And for those who want to join us on the after party, if you haven't yet, go to Vibrillioniare.com, register because we have to check. Register because you must be a part of the Vibrillioniare Frequency Collective, as this is a bonus. If you're not part of the WhatsApp group, you won't be included. We say that to honor the energy of the group. So if you would love to be a part of the, oh my gosh, we get to remember all these different words, right? The Vibrillioniare Remembership VIP party that's all about remembering and mirroring and coming together as one, and that's all it's about, then join us as we mirror one another home in the one presence I am. Mwah.
Bye for now.